My thematic text for the day is taken from Ephesians, 5th chapter, verses 15 through 17. I'll be reading from the New International Version, and it reads as thus: Be very careful, then, how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is.
Over the course of the last 20 years, I've had the opportunity to sit at the bedside of a number of people who felt confident that death was imminent. It always amazes me what people say when they think that death is imminent. It also amazes me what people do not say when they feel confident that death is imminent. For instance, at a bedside of someone who thinks they're going to die, I have never heard anyone say, I wished I'd worked more overtime. I've never heard anyone say, I wished I'd spent more time on my phone. I've never heard anyone say, I wished I'd spent more time away from my family. As a matter of fact, usually when someone is sure that death is imminent, they will say, I wish I had one more moment to hold my wife. I wish I had one more moment to hug my kids. I wish I had one more opportunity to say I love you to some loved ones. When someone knows that death is imminent, it changes your whole priorities. And that's why in our text for the day, in Ephesians 5th chapter, when Paul says, be very careful then how you live, not as the unwise, but as the wise, he's telling us, yes, be careful how we live our days, because our days, our minutes, our seconds add up to weeks and years, and before you know it, time is gone, and we've wasted so much time. So we have to be careful how we live, making the most of every opportunity in the times that we have to spend with family and friends is so precious. And it breaks my heart. It breaks my heart when I see family members or people out on a date talking to one another, and yet they got a cell phone in their hand. They're not looking at each other. They're just making the other person a secondary priority when in reality, that moment that they have together can never be recaptured. That moment will never ever exist. And that's why he says, because the days are evil. And when he says, because the days are evil, what he's saying is, time is not your friend. He's saying, listen, time, days, whether you use them wisely or not, time will move on. Now, I always hear people talking about a do-over. Listen, each and every time you do a do-over, you don't go back and recapture the time. You've lost that time. So it's important to redeem the time as you go forward, meaning make the best of every opportunity. Don't waste the precious moments that you have. Don't waste the precious moments that you have. And so then he says, therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is, my friends. If you want no regrets, at the end of your life, then know what the Lord's will is for your life and put the Lord's will first. If I were to summarize the priorities of life, it would be faith, family, friends, and fitness. Yeah. See, you got to take care of yourself too. So, my friends, if you don't want to have any regrets on your last day, if you want to be able to speak proudly and say, I've fought a good fight, I've ran a good race, then, my friends, you have to do what it says in Ephesians 5th chapter, verses 15 to 17, when it says, be very careful how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. My friend, be very careful how you live, because I don't know about you, but on that last day, I want to be able to say, all is well with my soul.